JSAUX sent over a bunch of new Nintendo Switch accessories for me to play with. This is after I already covered a load of stuff during the launch, which included some screen protectors, 2 hard carrying cases, a clear carry case, a handheld mount, and more. The latest products include the JSAUX split protective case for the Switch 2, an all-in-one travel storage carrying case, and the Joy-Con 2 portable charging dock. If you want to check out the reviews for the Joy-Con portable charging dock and the travel case, I'll leave a link in the description down below. However, this is a quick review of the JSAUX split protective carrying case for the Switch 2. I think it's important for people to find out detailed content on any product they purchase, especially when you're paying $29 for a case. You want to know how well it works and how well it might not work and what you're in for. The JSAUX split protective case is also not your run-of-the-mill case thanks to its versatile design. But no more rambling, let's just get to the review. The split case aims to provide a full-size protective case for your Nintendo Switch 2 while at the same time doubling up as a handheld version, which you can just keep the Switch 2 in when you're playing it. So it's meant to be an all-in-one protective case that you can just put in your bag if you've left the front and the back cover on, and you can also remove the front cover to dock it into your Nintendo Switch 2 dock, or you can just keep the front shell off and use it as a handheld sort of case thing. There are various ways that you can purchase this case. If you want the back and the front shell, the product sells for $29.99. But you can also just purchase the top shell for $12.99 or just the bottom shell and the 2 handheld mounts for $24.99. I just recommend getting the full package because it's just meant to work together. If you buy the top shell, you're just going to have issues clipping it onto the bottom if there's no bottom in the box. The company also says that the case is water and shatter resistant. The water resistance doesn't have an IP rating, so I wouldn't trust this to protect you from a lot of liquid, given how the front shell only covers the Switch 2's face. You might get away with spilling some liquid on the shell at the top and quickly cleaning it up, but I don't suggest going to bath with your Switch 2 anytime soon, or even maybe don't swim with it. As for the shatter resistance, well, I can't see the product shattering when you drop it because the plastic does feel quite high quality on both the front and the back. The back is obviously quite thin, so you can easily bend it. It is made so thin that you can still dock the console into the dock without removing the back shell. Speaking of the back, it also comes with all the cutouts that you need for the game card slot, the aux port, charging port, and even the kickstand. Unlike some of the cases on the market, this case leaves those cutouts open so you can still use the kickstand if that's your baby. This does mean that when docking your console, there is still a chance that you could scratch the console because it's open at the back. There are smaller bezel trims at the back there to catch the console when you dock it into the dock, but I have padding on my console dock just to avoid that. If you also want to pad your dock to protect it from all scratches, I'll also leave a link in the description down below for an easy household method to prevent scratches on your Switch 2. The Joy-Con 2 handles are then handy for only not completing the case but also acting as their own covers for the controllers at the same time. Inserting a Joy-Con into the handle does require a bit of force. The controllers do have quite a snug and tight fit in the shell itself. Getting them out of the handle is then a struggle on its own. And if anything, I was a bit worried about the tightness and how snug it was, and maybe it would actually end up damaging the controller when I removed it. Sadly, it actually did. After putting on and removing the handles on my Joy-Con 2s, I spotted some scuffs on the back of the side. This is obviously being caused by the pushing and pulling of the controller to get it out of the handle. It just means that the back of the controller is scraping the handle itself. I think JSAUX could have prevented this by adding more rubber onto the edges of the handle and not only on the back. The shell, on the other hand, clips on and off quite easily. It has a flap section at the bottom that just lifts up and the front face comes off. The friction on this top cover is only rubbing on the back shell, so it won't scuff your console over time. If you decide to not purchase the back shell, perhaps it would actually scuff your console over time. That's why again I recommend getting the whole package while you're at it. The front shell also comes with some padding inside the inner section with some small cutouts for game cards. I'm not the type of person to carry around game cards with me, so I'll probably never use this, but it's cool to have if you're someone who does take your physical games with you. Back to the handles, they of course operate with 2 functions. You can fully utilize the Joy-Cons while they are attached to these grips, attach the straps and fully make use of the mouse functionality. Then when they are attached to the console body, the whole thing looks and feels like an all-in-one case with some really fantastic hand grip when you're holding it in your hand. The handles are strong and quite heavy. The outer bulge is made from like a tough rubber and it helps with gripping the handles. It's also nice to have them resting on your palms, and I didn't feel like it was sliding around, and I didn't have to grip my hands to keep the Switch in my hand. Apart from scuffing the Joy-Cons, I don't have many complaints about them. When the Joy-Cons are attached to the screen, they also don't come off the unit even if you hold your console in some ways that D-Brand claims are not normal ways for holding a console. Altogether, the case does look quite nice. It adds a nice bulky weight to the product. Holding it for long periods of time wasn't an issue, and the extra protection around my Switch 2 forced me to kind of use this case more often. It also looks quite nice. It does look very similar to the D-Brand Kill Switch when you look at it from the front. I even had a few people ask me if it was the Kill Switch case when I was streaming games. Of course, I do have a few negatives. One is the scuffing of the Joy-Cons, and the second would be the front shell. I just kind of feel like I have nowhere to put it when I remove the front cover. If I'm traveling, I just have this random piece of plastic sitting around and getting in the way. Even at home, I would just leave it sitting next to the dock, and I know it isn't a huge issue and probably something that no one will relate to, but I just think it gets in the way. There's obviously no way to avoid that. I must just live with it and get over my OCD. But the JSAUX split protective case for Switch 2 is a nice case. The Joy-Con handles are really great on their own and feel awesome attached and detached to the console. This would be an absolutely perfect product in my eyes if they didn't scuff my controllers, of course. And yes, I'm sure I've mentioned it before, the case does slide into the Switch 2 dock without a problem. Even with my padded dock, which adds a bit of thickness to the interior of the dock, the case slid in and out quite perfectly. So this case is available on the official website. It retails for $29.99, which isn't bad at all. This is a case for someone who doesn't want to slug around a bulky carrying case with a zip, but rather wants a slimmer solution that fits into your bag and protects the console at the same time. So those are my thoughts on this JSAUX split protective case for Switch 2. Do you have any questions, or are you looking to pick this up? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to check out my channel for a load of other Switch 2 content coming up, as I'll soon be testing out a bunch of third-party docks and cables, one cable which claims to work on a TV without a dock and power the console at the same time. Stay tuned for that. So like and subscribe while you're here so you don't miss out on that content. Until next time, farewell.